Okay.
Right, let's get into our first discussion of the day now.
Yes, indeed. The Nigerian Army has launched a new operation against what it calls the adaptive techniques of Boko Haram in the northeast.
Now, Operation Last Hold will run for 4 months in the Lake Chad areas of Borno State. It is intended to clear the area of Boko Haram camps as well as rid the lake of weeds for safe passage of boats. Operation Last Hold will see the deployment of 6 more brigades in the northeast. Now, the Chief of Trying and Operations, who represented the Chief of Army Staff, disclosed this at a news conference in Abuja.
Operation Last Hold is expected to last for 4 months, and it will entail deployment of 6 additional maneuver brigades and other critical assets in Borno State. The operation is intended to facilitate the clearance of the Lake Chad waterways of seaweeds and other obstacles obstructing the movement of boats and people across the water channels. It will also ensure the destruction of Boko Haram terrorist camps and strongholds in the Lake Chad basin. The operation will also facilitate the rescue of hostages. The operational end state of Operation Last Hold is the total defeat of the Boko Haram terrorist sect. Strategically, the conduct of Operation Last Hold will facilitate the restoration of fishing, farming, and other economic activities in the Lake Chad basin. Additionally, it will facilitate the relocation of internally displaced persons from internationally displaced camps to their communities. Operation Last Hold is conceptualized to involve the conduct of population influence activities targeted to improve civil-military relations in the Northeast region.
All right. Well, we still have Charles Ideho here listening to the Army Chief there talking about Operation Last Hold. That's an operation that is meant to restore socio-economic activities back and restore life generally back in the Northeast. Charles Ideho, good morning once again.
Thank you.
But a lot of cynicism seems to be trailing this latest Operation Last Hold from the military, and they're saying, is this in response to the call by the U.S. Army to change strategy? And if you're going to change strategy, why come out really and tell us? Because you're already giving the enemy a heads up.
That has been part of the challenges we'll be having with this war against insurgency in the Northeast. For me, the Nigerian military, they are actually capable of doing whatever it takes to rout the insurgents. But when you have the challenge is that over and over again, it becomes even a sour taste in our own mouths. That when you have a strategies for you to be able to want to defeat them, you are telling the enemy this is what we're going to do. I mean, what do you expect the enemy to do? I mean, the enemy, they have access to the media. They have access to the airwaves. So what we're saying is that this is what we're going to do. We're going to clear the Lake Chad of water hyacinth. We're going to do this, we're going to do this, we're going to... And the enemy, they're watching you. They say, okay, you're coming over here. Well, how do you think they're also going to up their game in resisting you? That has been the challenge we've faced over the years. It's not as if the Nigerian military won't be able to do it, but I'm telling you that there's a mole in the system. What I mean is that if you find even the top military brand, there are people who are feeding fat from this war. They don't want the work to be over. As they are releasing the information to the enemy, it doesn't happen anywhere. When the Al-Qaeda, what's his name, Osama bin Laden was being chased everywhere. Yeah. The Americans didn't tell you what they were doing.
Anything.
They didn't say they were going to do that. They didn't say the information. But what happens the very day Obama said, we got him. Yep. Nobody knew what they were doing on the ground. Why do we have to repeat this weather-beating system every time that is not helping us to win the war? I think whoever is responsible for that, the federal have to look at it and say they must stop it. We are giving too much information to the enemy. Yeah.
Well, they have always come to tell Nigerians that they cannot say some things because of security issues around them. So when they have a strategy, especially when they're breaking it
Breaking
down, itemizing them on what they were going to do. The enemy will either prepare they move away, allow you to, and then they come back. But now they said this is going to last for 4 months.
Beginning from May.
First
and one of the points
May
there is totally,
September.
one of the points he gave there was totally defeating Boko Haram terrorist sect. And I wonder, 4 months, totally defeat Boko Haram. And they said Boko Haram had already been defeated. When it comes to...
No, I think it's a matter of language or semantics. Okay. They have been defeated. It's different from totally defeated.
Okay.
Okay, so if you say they have been defeated, it means that they have been, the language was been downgraded or degraded, whatever.
Or technically
defeated.
Yeah.
But that's also different. This is to the superlative.
Okay. Totally defeat.
Total defeat.
So which means
we are not likely to hear in the days to come.
Very good.
Any bombing. We're not going to be having any hostage taking. We're not going to be having all this issue of blowing themselves up.
Suicide bombings.
That's what it means. So that's why the military, I'm sure they chose their word
carefully.
very carefully. And
Okay.
But we've had this in the past before.
No, you didn't hear total defeat in the past.
But they said Boko Haram will be a thing of the past. And they had given, even from the last government, they had always given, several times the military chief will come and say, there's the deadline to...
No, we have been given, there's a timeline.
Remember the 30-day ultimatum?
Yes,
when it was
that,
given
exactly.
sometime last year?
Yes, exactly. But you see, the thing is that what I'm saying, the military, for me, I think they actually, the ones who are doing what is right, they actually mean well. But there are fifth columnists in the system. Okay, that I mean, I told you once upon a time when we were discussing things on that program here on this platform, that they said when the military and the Americans were going to help us, they were able to locate the enclave of the insurgents. They were going to gas them. Okay. The very day they planned, they were doing area surveillance. They saw that these people were wearing face masks. The question is, how did the information get to them? So that's what I'm saying, that there are fifth columnists in the system that are feeding fat. That when the war ends, then you have brought you have ended their source of income. You have the defense contractors. You have all of them in the system. So even releasing this information, top is tears. It's tears. What electoral is a tear. Releasing this top secret information to the general public, to the whole world, even to their enemy, I think that something is fishy.
Counterproductive. So what really has changed in terms of manpower and capacity to deal a final blow on Boko Haram? Is the army saying we have everything it takes now?
The army has always had. The army has always had the manpower. The army has always had the strategies. The army, the Nigerian army that I know, has always had all these things. But the issue is the vested interest, politics, all these things you have within the system. But you not told that. I mean, we were close on arresting Shekau, and then a command came that you should stand down. You should stand down. You held that. Why was that? The military who were after him, they actually have they were able to surveil the system. They gave him surveillance, and they were just after closing on him, but they were told to hold back. So it tells you that if they had captured, it's just like when we were in village those days, you had this ant hill. Okay, ant hill where you have the queen. As far as the queen is alive, producing workers, and that hill will remain. But remove the queen, give it one week, the thing collapses. So if they have been able to remove Shekau, not that they would have totally defeated, but at least you have been able to remove the chief of them all. So the military releasing this, as I'm going to repeat it, is in bad faith, honestly.
It's counterproductive.
Yeah, counterproductive.
Now, they have given 4 months to totally defeat Boko Haram terrorist sect. Now, what happens, or what becomes, or how relevant will the 12 Super Tucano aircraft they plan to get in 2020? How relevant would that be? Would that not amount to wasting funds now?
Well, no, I don't think so, because even everywhere in the world, all the countries, they always stockpile, with the armory and the rest of them. You need to have all these things in place. If America is still stocking the armory, Russia is stocking the armory, and so there's no country in the whole world that will just relax.
Yeah, well, they're stocking the armory from armory that is built from almost A to Z from
From
within.
there, but
the Russians are building their
what happened to our
weaponry.
defense industry corporation, DIC?
Yes.
Yes.
Well,
We don't have
what's
well, it's moribund if you accept that word. But if you don't have that in absence of that, what do? We just lay back. What about if you have foreign aggressor?
Well,
what will happen?
the president at I think 2016, the president said he was going to revive the
DIC.
the DIC.
We're still waiting for that. He didn't give any timeline.
Well, not too long ago, they talked about a helicopter that's being built already, that we should see one built in Nigeria. But then again, look, to have a sustainable way of not just ending Boko Haram, but after Boko Haram, who is to say that we will not face another, kind of challenge? Challenge, yes.
Yes, that's right. Well, that's why, for instance...
So we have to begin to think about building, as in...
capacity and all.
Capacity.
Yes, exactly. But even then, the defeat of Boko Haram may not also bring to an end the whole issue. First, look at the people that were uprooted from their ancestral homes. You need to find a way to give bad lives to them, which is part of what they're doing. They said they're going to be having military that will escort them to their farmlands to plant. That's why they want to clear the waterways now for them people to fish, in not troubled waters anyway. So that's also part of the. But I think that if the military is actually decisive about it, it would be beneficial to us economically, because the IDP will keep on funding. That, of course, will stop. That money can be channeled to other critical areas. So that's why I said, but the military has to also, they owe us a duty to indeed do this right and do it right.
Well, it seems the focus is going to be the Lake Chad
yeah, that's where you have
region.
the remnant. That's where you have the remnant.
What about Sambisa Forest, where you still have a shakal?
No, they said northeast, particularly.
Okay.
The
So,
Lake Chad.
okay,
Yes.
so Sambisa is going to be within.
Yes. It's all
right.
encompassing. Yes.
All right. When it comes to, well, before we round off, let me ask this. Those who are in the IDPs, a lot of them have lost their homes, like you said earlier. They don't have a means of livelihood and have nothing. How challenging would it be to relocate them back to homes that were non-existent, and then now for them to start farming and all of that?
Well, the military is already anticipating this, and they're already taking ahead. If you read the report, what you had is that they're going to be involved in the military, are going to be molding blocks for them, helping them to build all these cottages, maybe just makeshift buildings. So the military is also going to do that. So I think it's challenging, but with gradual process, I think it can be achieved.
Okay.
All right, it can be achieved. Operation Last Hold. Thank you very much, Charles Ideho, for looking at this for us this morning.
Thank you.
Thank you, Charles.
Stay with us. There's a lot more to come on TVC Breakfast.